Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and I'm doing my counterfeit kit challenge for baby use those scraps. And I'm going to use this picture of my kiddos down by the river and using my scraps for this month. So I actually have quite a bit of scraps that I was not aware of because, yeah. So I'm just looking at what I've got in here. I don't mind these two green fern bits because I'm not going to use them on anything else. If I don't, they'll go in the bin if they don't get used. So I'm looking at using them, and it makes sense because they're down by the river and there's lots of trees there and that kind of stuff. So I did think about using that butterfly paper for a minute, but this green is going to work, and it's going to be a very green page with a hint of blue. So I have some really pretty scraps left over. So, oh well. So I thought for a second maybe doing a vertical layout, and then there's that dark green at the bottom on the larger piece, and I was like, maybe not. And then I do know that bottom strip of the fern is an inch too short, but I'll just slice that in a half a bit, not quite in half. And so I did cut that blue navy paper and the white to be a photo mat, and the inside one is 4 1/8 by 6 1/8, and the outside one is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then I decided to switch the white to black, and then I was like, I think in my kit I still have that navy left. I wonder what this navy that I'm putting like as a photo mat would look like. So I'm like, the black is really sharp, but those are all the papers I have left. I have lots left in this kit, but that's okay. This is my last layout for this kit, so what I've got left will just go back into my stash and it will get used some other time. So just cut that off to be 8 inches because I did. And then I'm going to put each of these down an inch. They're an inch wide because the paper that I used for this was 11 by 11. So one of them is 11 inches long and one of them is 12 inches long, but they're both 1 inch wide. So I measured 2 inches down because that's where it needs to go with my ruler. And then the rest is easy to get on because then this goes on really super easy. And then this other one's going to go on right underneath, and that should give you about the inch underneath and not a big deal. And then I almost forgot to spread this out because I do want it like a banner on both sides. And so that works. And so those are two of my forgeries. I'm going to get one of them on. One of my tags I use. I really need to make a better attempt at using my forgeries in my month, but not this month. Oh well. Maybe I can sneak them in next month. I'm in charge of the blog next month, so yeah. Maybe I can sneak them in. I don't know. We'll see. Then so I pulled out my 49 market that I put in this kit. So one of them is Nature Study. The other one is Moonlit. I think this one is Moonlit. I'm not sure. But it's 49 market. And they're old. They're like the cluster kits. And I'm not going to use them to make clusters the way that they've set them out. Even though they're gorgeous, I'm going to use them for all sorts of layering bits, and yeah. Then I decided this ticket tab piece works really well there to cover up that missing piece. And then I can move my tag up, which I like. And I really like these daisies. We do have daisies, so not a big deal. And then these birds are super cute. I don't think we have these birds where we live, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. So we do have birds. So it's gonna work in that kind of aspect of things. That butterfly that I just put down doesn't actually make it back on my layout. I don't know where it went to. The yellow one does make it on. So yay. And then I'm just looking at things to like beef this up a bit. So I got the viewfinder wheel underneath, which I'm super happy about. It's like a gray color, but it's got a blue tone to it. So it kind of picks up on the darker color on the full sheet background that I have. And then just looking, seeing what I can layer with and what I can add. And these leaves are cute. So like they get lost on the green, but down here that they work. And then it pulls, that blue flower pulls the blue down, and the blue is already up. So that works well. And so I'm going to put this wander and wonder because my kiddos did lots of that. And then the birds go on here to like change this tag up even more. And that is super cute. Super happy with that. I thought about moving that flower up for a second. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to get this on. I like it where it was with the green there. Done. That part, well, almost done. And then I thought about this branch. It's not going to stay there, but it's cute. The bow's going to go there instead. And now I'm going to do the bottom layers that I've kind of sort of put out here to use. So I'm just going to mark where I can cut this off because this blue I'm going to use. So cut that piece out, add this to the photo for a bottom mat. And then that other blue is going to end up on the top, which is awesome. I'm going to cut the reel in half because I only need half of it. And so that anchors this side really well. And then I'm like, this blue could work there. This works here. And then that white one that I just pulled out is going to go back. But I'm looking at, how do I want to do this? So that works. So I'm going to get this down so it does move. And then I'm going to slide this underneath. I have to pull it up a little bit because I do have enough tape there to hold it in place. And then this piece I'm going to cut and it's going to hang out the side here. And it just gives a little bit of brightness on that side where I can put the daisy. This is going to go on foam tape so that my stitching that I did isn't making it sit funny. Also add some good dimension. And then this one over here and overlapping the photo, which is perfect. The butterfly is going to go right on the reel. And then that bow, I'm like, where do I put it? And then this daisy I want there, but this other one doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to cut it off. And then I'm going to hide, or not really hide, I'm going to sneak it in here. And so it almost looks like the butterfly is going to land on that daisy. So I like the way that looks, and it makes sure I can use that piece. The bow is going to go down here by the blue flower. And I'm just looking for my foam adhesive. So then that's going to go on. And then I'm going to, so the bow part's up, I'm going to add some glue to the middle and one of the ribbon parts. And then I'm going to put a title on. So my title is going to be Down at the River. And I try it in 100 different spots. So I'm not going to make you watch me try it in 100 different spots or glue it down, because by the time I decide that this is actually where I want it, there's no stick left on those ones. So they're old. They're Studio Calico ones anyway. And if I put it on the first time and left it, they probably would have stuck just fine. But yeah. And then I decided on the black and white twine in the tag hole, just because it matches the black and white for the bow. And then I'm going to tie this in a bow. And finally, and then the last thing I do with the bow is I secure it with some glue so it doesn't come undone in my pages. And then finally, I'm going to do some journaling. And so my journaling says, you both love to explore the river with your buckets and shovels. Nana Bass loved to take you as often as the weather allowed. My kids homeschooled, and so this was part of their homeschool day, and they loved that. And so here is that page all done. I love how these scraps turned out. Make sure you take a look at the blog and the Facebook group for Counterfeit Kit Challenge. And make sure you come back on Sunday for a new kit inspiration. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you. If you like, subscribe, and comment. I always get back to my comments. I really appreciate it. There are some other videos, playlists, that you might enjoy here. Thank you again for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day.